February 14th, 1990 something. The place you're about to find out. The woman, you know her all too well. She's your host.
What kind of guys do you think that I would have been attracted to growing up? Well, I was really into Camaro cars, guys who kiss their mother on the cheek, 14-karat gold, Italian horns or crucifixes, and just guys who smell really, really good. And then I moved out to Amish country. So you might be guessing that Scott was the first man I ever dated who was from a Mennonite background. Well, you would be wrong. Before I met my husband, I went on a date with an Amish guy. Yes, you don't need to rewind. It is true. And in this episode, I'm going to share with you what that first and only date was like, dating an Amish guy. Okay, so I was going to a church when I was in my mid-20s, and there was a friend of a friend. And he said to me, I have this Amish friend. Well, actually, he never joined the Amish church, so he's not really Amish, but was born and raised like super old order Amish. And guys, I'm telling you, I'm not gonna lie, this guy was cute. He was like 6'2", blonde hair, tan, chiseled, quality on any level, from the looks department, of course. And so I was like, yes, I would love that guy to ask me out. I was very shy. And so this guy asked me out on a date, called me, asked me out on Valentine's Day. And he said, I'm taking you somewhere special, don't eat anything. Okay, so I was all excited. I skipped lunch and I skipped dinner. He said he was gonna pick me up at 7 p.m. I wore a really cute outfit. I had my hair nice and big, put in the rollers, knock, 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 knock at the door. And I open the door and here's 6-foot-something blonde hunky man with his arms behind his back. He doesn't say hi, he doesn't greet me. He just says, which hand? And then I realized, he has a teddy bear or roses or chocolates behind his back. And I was like, oh, I don't know, playing all dumb, you know? I was like, that side? He's like, no. That side? You go, no. And then I was like, okay, both hands. And then he pulls out of his hand a loaf of bread. Yes, bread. A loaf of bread, people, on Valentine's Day, first date. And I was like, oh, thank you. I love bread. And he was like, yeah, my mother made it. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. And then he's like, well, there's something else in this hand. And I was like, oh, now I'm waiting for like the bear or the chocolate or the cute little gift. And I was like, okay, that hand. And he has the other hand out. And now he has 2 loaves of bread. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. I need more bread. I'm a single woman living in a house with a roommate. And he goes, this one is different. This one is 5 grain. 5 grain bread and white bread. What more could a woman find sexy on Valentine's Day? So I thanked him, put them on the counter, and then reminded myself immediately, as soon as this is over, I've got to call my mother in Jersey. So he's got a big giant pickup truck with like the monster wheels, country music in there. He helps me into the front, so it's like a giant thing. You got to like get over the step. And we get in the car and I'm so excited for dinner. I'm like starving, my stomach is growling. I don't feel that great because I haven't eaten. And I'm like, great. I was like, so where are we going? He's like, actually, I'm taking you to Lancaster City. And I was like, oh, like I'd been to places bigger than Lancaster City before, but he was like, thought this was really trendy for him to do. So I was like, oh, cool. I'm really excited to see it. You don't want to give me a hint like the bread? He's like, nope. So we're driving. It felt like forever. And we pull in to this kind of like long driveway, like parking lot. And we're at the Castle roller rink. And I'm like, yay, this looks like fun. And inside I'm going, where's dinner? Anyway, we got out, he paid for the skates, He paid for the ticket for the admission, and we started going around in circles, around and around and around, and I'm looking around me. Everyone is 5 years or more younger than us, because like we're in like our early 20s and everybody's like a teenager or pre-teenager at the roller rink on Valentine's Day. So we're going around and around, and I'm really, really hungry by this point. And I was like, you know, are we going somewhere after this to eat? And he goes, nope, skate right over here. And we get off the skate rink and we go up the ramp, and there is the snack bar. Yes, he's taking me to the snack bar. And so I get off the thing and I'm like, great, I am so hungry right now, I could eat a horse. And so we get out and there is literally nothing left. There are no burgers, there are no hot dogs. It's now like almost closing time, so all the preteens like got their fill. And they did have, I remember, pretzels and Cokes. I said, I will take a pretzel and a Coke, please and thank you. We sat down and we had our stale pretzels and our flat Cokes. I just remember him asking me about my world, and I asked him about his world, and it was like really clear that we had absolutely nothing in common at all. Not even one thing, other than the fact that I like bread. And I'm not even crazy about 5 grain. I was quite ready to leave after that, and he said, oh, let's go back out, it's the couples dance. And we went out, and he held my hand, his hand was all sweaty, and went round and around. And then I was like, oh, thank you so much, this was such a nice date. And he got a little fresh there towards the end, fresh, if you know what I mean. And I was like, this ain't happening. I asked him to take me back, and he tried to get a little fresh again. I thanked him, and he asked me if I wanted him to come in. And I was like, oof, I'm so sorry, it's like really late. Like we closed down the roller rink. So I was like, oh, sorry, it's like I have early shows tomorrow at Sight and Sound, and I just don't think that's gonna work out for me. But he's like, don't worry, I'll call you. And I was like, yay. I went in the house, I immediately died laughing. I got a sandwich as fast as I could, and I called my mother. My mother, I could hear her laughing 115 miles away in Edison, New Jersey, as I regaled the tale to her. And wouldn't you know, this guy thought, he really thought he was rocking it on this date. And that guy asked me out another, I don't know, 7 or 8 times before he finally got the hint that this was not gonna be a Mennonite or Amish marriage made in heaven. And thank goodness, because I would have never met yours truly, my husband, Scott Herzog. So it ended up all working out in the end. But I have to be honest, I always think of that guy and that first date whenever I see 5 grain Amish bread at the roadside stand. So there you have it, everyone. Have you had a crazy date or a date with somebody from a different culture than yours? Please comment about it in the comments section below. And if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks so much for listening. We appreciate you sharing in our journey.